Welcome to the RavensSpace on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is RavensSpace Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We have 3 great news stories for you today, but first I want to say please subscribe to the RavensSpace on YouTube for more great Baltimore Ravens content. Also, I want to say please check out our RavensSpace Patreon page, and a special shout out to the RavensSpace Patreons. You guys are the real MVPs of the RavensSpace, and you make it happen. So we're going to hop right into our first news story of the day, which talks about the best contract for the Baltimore Ravens. And so this came from the Bleacher Report, and they rated that the best contract for the Baltimore Ravens was Jeremy Maclin. And when this happened, I raved a lot. You guys remember about how good this contract was. It's very cheap on the front end, and though we do have to pay Jeremy Maclin on the back end, it's a number that you'll be perfectly fine getting a receiver for, especially a number 1 receiver. So if Jeremy Maclin plays well, it'd be awesome to, take that money and, feel like we've won. So Ozzie Newsome got a proven receiver at this spot. The contract is 2 years, $11 million. And again, a great contract. If Jeremy Maclin turns out to be the number 1 receiver, we hope he is. I'll read you guys what the Bleacher Report had to say about it. It says, Jeremy Maclin struggled through an injury-marred mess of a season in 2016. But he's never missed more than 4 games in a season, and at 29, he's hardly over the hill. In both 2014 and 2015, he topped 1,000 yards receiving. So when Jeremy Maclin is healthy, he's going to get over 1,000 yards as number 1 receiver. I really do think that he has the potential to be a breakout star in the AFC North and be a big contributor to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm excited to see him play. This is one of the best contracts I've seen from Ozzie Newsome in a very long time. Again, Ozzie Newsome and the Ravens have made a habit of getting older players and paying them what they're worth. So they're not bad contracts. But for Jeremy Maclin, he's still in his prime. On a beautiful contract, a contract that you have a hard time receiving for any other player, especially at his skill level, is something great for the Baltimore Ravens. And again, the Chiefs let him go. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And I really do think that Jeremy Maclin will be a treasure for the Baltimore Ravens. The next story talks about the worst contract for the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm sure you guys can guess it. It is Joe Flacco's contract. Joe Flacco currently is 3 years, $66.4 million. So a little over $22 million a year. Again, this is the going rate for a quarterback, and I do not feel bad about this contract. They say it's the worst. I don't think it's the worst. I think you could be a lot worse off if you do not have a franchise quarterback. I read you what the Bleacher Report said about it. Flacco's cap number for 2016 was so high that Newsome and the Ravens were left little recourse but to sign Flacco to another extension last year so they could spread the damage out more. By 2019, that cap hit will surpass $25 million again. And so what they're kind of saying here is that the contract that Joe Flacco signed is kind of going to keep on going for the Baltimore Ravens because of the way it cap hit, and it's going to always be a lot of cap hit in the last year of the contract. And there's really nothing the Ravens can do because they bet and they lost. Joe Flacco bet and he won. He had one of the greatest postseasons of any quarterback ever. And again, if you don't pay him, another team will, and then we're stuck without a franchise quarterback. And it's not easy to get franchise quarterbacks in the league, especially ones that's shown you that they can throw 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in a postseason and win a Super Bowl. I'm not mad at this contract. You pay a quarterback what you pay a quarterback. We all play the game. The Ravens just got to chalk it up to the game. They lost. They bet. They lost. Joe bet and Joe won. And so again, I'll never tell a man that he has to take less money, just like I'll never tell you guys, you got to take less money at your job. So again, they say it's the worst. I don't think so, but 3 years, $66.4 million. Let me know about the contracts. I know you guys have a lot to say about Joe Flacco's contract, but also let me know about Jeremy Maclin's contract. I like it a lot. I want to know how you guys feel about it. And the last story of the day is about Justin Tucker and setting an NFL record for the longest field goal. So Justin Tucker said it before, and he said it again, that he can kick a 75-yard field goal. So again, a 75-yard field goal is one of the craziest feats that I've ever heard anyone say about the NFL, that they can do it. And I do doubt that Justin can do it, especially in the NFL, especially in Baltimore, where we do have wind gusts in our stadium. It's I just don't know. Now, if he gets the perfect setting, let's say he plays again in Detroit, where there's a dome, where there's no, kick rush, certain things like that, maybe he can do it. But as it stands now, I really have a hard time thinking that he can kick 75 yards. Last year, he had one of the best seasons ever as a kicker, and the only miss that he had was a blocked field goal. So again, if anyone can do it, Justin Tucker can do it. In my heart, I feel like he's heading to the Hall of Fame. So we shall see. I think he is a great kicker. I think 75 yards is very far off. Do you guys think that he can kick a 75-yard field goal? Let me know in the comments. And the best comment, I'll pin it to the top. So again, please let me know. Just to let you guys know, I didn't mention it. The longest field goal kick right now is 64 yards by Matt Prater in 2013. And like we do at the end of every single Ravens Space Daily, we have the Ravens Space and mailbag question of the day. And this question comes from Bader. And Bader asks, it seems that the Ravens lose a lot of close games in the past 2 seasons. What do you think the Ravens should do to avoid doing that next season? Thank you so much for your question, Bader. So first I want to start off by saying this. The only way not to lose close games is to build a lead and not let teams come back, which the Ravens have a problem of doing. Now, what happens is when you have a close game, that either means 2 things. That means you can't consistently score or that your defense is bad. And so you have to improve one of those because the Ravens defense is not bad, right? The close games last year were 20-21 or 13-14 or even sometimes 10-11 or whatever. So what the Ravens have to do is improve on offense, right? Convert third downs. That's the big thing. Convert third downs. And here's actually the biggest thing. And we saw this. If you're a Ravens fan, you've been hurt by this more than anything. You can't settle for field goals. You have to settle for touchdowns. You cannot get field goals. You got to get touchdowns. Because what happens is you score, 4 field goals. It's all fine and dandy. The opponent scores 1 touchdown and kicks a field goal. And now they're only down by 2 points, right? And that's what happens to the Ravens. The Ravens can drive and drive and drive, and Joe Flacco accumulates yards, but then we have a 3 and out, and then Tucker kicks a field goal. That can't happen if the Ravens want to be successful. So what's going to have to happen if we score touchdowns, then the game changes. So I know you're not going to score a touchdown every single time you go on the field, but again, you can't settle for field goals. If you're in the red zone, you have to score, and it's just plain and simple. So again, that's the reason. A lot of field goals, that's the biggest reason. You kick field goals, the other team can catch up and when they score touchdowns. So to wrap it up, score touchdowns, don't kick field goals, and you'll win by more points and you'll have bigger leads. Thank you so much for your question, Bader. And this is the end of the Ravens Space Daily for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the Ravens Space on YouTube for more great Baltimore Ravens content. Follow us on our different social media channels. Check out our Patreon page. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.